Trevs Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, moving on with my favorite players of said team. And being this is still, well, Stanley Cup's finals haven't even begun yet. But since we are in the midst of the Stanley Cup finals, and I'm keeping with the theme of all the content that I'm pulling from the book related to the two Stanley Cup finalists, today we're talking about my favorite Tampa Bay Lightning players of all time. So let's get to it. It's a little bit of a history lesson. Tampa Bay Lightning have been around since 1992, when they came into the league with their expansion cousins, the Ottawa Senators. In their existence, they have won the Stanley Cup twice. They're competing it, as I'm recording, for the fourth time. So it could be three by the time these Stanley Cup playoffs are over. But as I said in the Montreal video, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You could say, of all the 90s expansion teams and the early 2000s expansions, Tampa's been the most successful, as in cup wins. Not so much cup runs. There's been a few teams from that expansion era that have had cup runs. Tampa's had 2 cups, maybe 3. So it's safe to say, yeah, they're probably the most successful of that expansion group. Strange to think, from how they began, how they ended up before 2000, but they've turned that page. They've had some great players come along the way. Let's talk about my favorite, and I'm going to go in the formula that I've always done: 1 goalie, 2 defensemen, 3 forwards. Let's talk about it. Khabibulin. Have you ever tried saying his name without silencing the K? Then it comes like Khabibulin. I just thought that was funny. It was very hard to score anything past the Bulin wall when he was being a Bulin wall. And really, the cup run in 04, aside from some shady refereeing, has a lot to do with Khabibulin. So without him, without his stocky frame and his ability to actually play in net, it made Tampa exciting. Not so much watching Khabibulin as an exciting goalie, but it made Tampa exciting to watch. And coming out of the 90s, they needed that excitement. So they got it in spades. I remember watching Hedman get drafted 2nd overall. Thinking to myself, the Islanders are making a terrible mistake not drafting Hedman. And I think he's really proven that fact right. Norris Trophy, Conn Smythe Trophy, and he's not even in his prime. Like, he's got more in the tank, I guarantee you that. So you're in for a good couple long years of Hedman dominance in Tampa Bay, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I mean, the frame on him alone, he's a tall boy. Mix that with actual good defensive skill on a championship built team. Oh, yeah, you've got one scary Swedish defenseman. Roman Hamrlik, the first player from Czechoslovakia, because it was still Czechoslovakia at the time, chosen 1st overall. And it's not because of that. He was an actual solid defenseman. I mean, I've said Hedman was a solid defenseman. Hamrlik was just as solid. He wasn't flashy. He didn't get you all the points, but he got you the hits. He made sure your offensemen on the rush weren't coming in too hard. And that lasted for a good couple of years. But while he was there in Tampa, he was a very good defensive threat. Now you're probably asking, who's Chris Kontos? The answer is simple. Chris Kontos scored not just the first hat trick in Tampa Bay history, he scored the first 4-goal game in Tampa Bay Lightning history in their first game against Chicago. I remember this because I watched it, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Really, if he'd have kept up a good goal scoring pace, he could have been Tampa's first genuine superstar. And you know how expansion teams work. You're always building a superstar out of somebody else's players. But overall, I think he's one of my favorite players because I genuinely remember that fact. Like a little nugget that never leaves the brain. So I'll definitely win you beers on that. Brad Richards, Mr. Conn Smythe Trophy himself. As good as the team was around him that went to the 04 Cup, it was a lot of Richards that got them there. Between his just general knowledge of the ice, knowing who's going to be where and when, how to set up the play, and how to actually take the puck and make it his own, he was really good at that. Really, really good. And truth be told, I always thought he was better than LeCavier myself, but that's just my own opinion. All in all, it's a shame that he's not up in the rafters with St. Louis and LeCavier, but I'm sure there will be a day when he is. Just a matter of when. Of course, what Tampa Bay Lightning list would be complete without Martin St. Louis? I mean, really, two-time Art Ross Trophy winner, a Hart Trophy winner, has the Tampa Bay career record in assists and points, and the guy's only 5'8". Small guys like him make amazing players to watch because they can do things big guys can't, and St. Louis was the perfect exception of that. It was a shame his time in Tampa had to end the way it did, but it was probably for the better anyway. Either way, fun to watch a guy like St. Louis. Really enjoyed watching a Tampa Bay Lightning game that much more exciting. So that's another one of Trev's hockey shows. Well, thank you for tuning in, especially if you're here. Again, this whole working with one another thing, it's a great thing. And I'm glad you're here. I really am. So while you're here, hit that like button. If you want, hit that red button too, the one that says subscribe. Actually, it's not even a case of if you want. You know you want to. I know you want to. So do it up. Subscribe makes you feel good. And we're going for 100. So let's get there. All my socials, they're in the description down below. Moving forward, as far as the book's concerned, I really hope you guys appreciate the retired number of videos that I got coming out next week. I'm going to have 2 of them, one for each team. And I really hope that you guys dig it because I'm putting a lot of work into it. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, if you're looking for more videos from Trev, later.